Echoes call from hollow halls, a voice that creeps and softly crawls. Time stands still, the air is.
The internet has opened up doors to information like never before. But under the mundane details and everyday entertainment lies some of the most unsettling content. From sickening pranks to the vilest acts, these are the most disturbing videos on the internet. Streaming has provided an excellent avenue for many to try out various things. Sadly, some have chosen to misuse it. You'd often see this in the IRL streaming niche, where people broadcast their daily activities to the world. Those who are creative have used the opportunity to gather followers and earn some money. Others have either been lazy or gone too far. Someone who falls comfortably into that second category is the streamer known as Arab Andy. He was doing quite well, and was on a rapid rise when he decided to pull off an inconsiderate prank. All the career he had built through hard work for a long time came crashing down in only a few weeks. His real name is Jamal Hassan Haraz. Born in Washington, Jamal started his streaming career on Twitch and YouTube. He met Ice Poseidon and his friend Sam Pepper in 2018 when the two were on a trip in Seattle. He jumped at the opportunity, making himself a part of their stream. Jamal was subsequently welcomed to tag along, and the three made some content together.
Okay, really aggressive, by the way. I'm going there with a straight jacket. If I get socked, I'll win. Okay, no, that's fucking bullshit. Okay, well, I guess we'll find out what happens in Capitol Hill. We've been in town for 5 hours, and our names are already out there, and they're out to get us. All of Seattle is out to get us, and they hate us. Well, I guess we'll see.
On one occasion, they had a chat with some people while posing as university students. However, this did not end well, as they angered the individuals by assuming their gender. The partnership with Ice Poseidon ended a short while later, but he had already gotten his big break.
What did I do? On the ground. I didn't do nothing, bro.
Lay on the ground.
I was TTS, I was donating.
On the ground now.
Alright.
Lay flat on your stomach.
Thank you. That's good.
Put your phone down if you're concerned about it.
They probably hooked up privately, and he became one of the Andys, which is the name adopted by creators connected to Ice Poseidon. There's Mexican Andy, Asian Andy, Burger Andy, Tracksuit Andy, and the like. Jamal was called Arab Andy. His following skyrocketed overnight as he began making IRL streams to satisfy his followers. Arab Andy embraced a type of IRL stream that allowed viewers to donate to him. When they donate, they get to choose a TTS or sound to play on Jamal's stream, which is connected to a loudspeaker.
Have fun.
Often his viewers select strange and provocative sounds. Jamal approaches people closely, attempting to catch them off guard with the various sounds. Despite the strange nature of these sounds, Arab Andy usually does not mind using them to poke fun at people around him. Instead, he laughs it off, acts unbothered, or even laughs at his angered victims. One day, he ran through a public park, playing gunshot sounds and running over the chairs. Another time, he approached a group of Muslims playing loud Arabic chants and a sound that I've sometimes seen alongside images of Osama bin Laden.
I do it for Allah, bro. Hey, you gotta go all out, bro. You like it? Yeah.
Another time, he went to meet people playing volleyball and started insulting them. Arab Andy didn't care who it was. If he found it funny, he was going to do it.
Do you look like a damn cracker, dude? Like, they hit me 3 times, so I didn't finish. They picked up my legs and they flipped me over. They almost broke my...
One day, he walked around among people with offensive TTS sounds blaring out of his speaker. When a policeman approached him after multiple complaints, he left the stream open, leading to more provocative sounds while the policeman spoke with him.
We keep getting a lot of complaints about you. Man, bro, I just walked down the first block. I barely got to see the parade. I'm just enjoying my time.
Okay, well, people are saying that you're walking around playing. I don't know if they're saying that you're saying it or if it's your phone that's saying it, but it's saying a lot of, stuff.
Someone like, my chat, dude. You know,
Sometimes he goes on public transport to disturb people with his TTS donations. Or to schools to disrupt classes.
He's recording and people really need to start because it made it really nice. Stop recording me. Stop recording me.
shit, my bad.
My classes are, so you can record my class, that's okay, but you have to ask my permission.
Alright, my bad,
And I
sir.
prefer if it wasn't live.
You're right, my bad. I'm alive. I just was on live and I just saw your class, so.
So you're not in this class?
I am. I just registered today.
You registered for this class today.
Yeah.
You can't register for a class in the middle of class.
And they told me that at the office, dude.
Who are you and why are you here?
Dude, I wonder. Yo, I'm gonna go.
Occasionally, Arab Andy saw the consequences of his actions, like that time when he got beaten after insulting some people playing volleyball. However, he faced the biggest consequence of his actions in May 2018. Arab Andy was obsessed with disturbing the peace of others with his streams. He had also managed to assemble some of the most toxic fan bases. Not only were they egging him on to try something more dumb, but they also constantly provided provocative TTS and sounds. On May 31, 2018, Arab Andy walked into the University of Washington. He made his way into a classroom, and this TTS played.
Is this where you're supposed to be?
I think so.
C4 has been successfully activated. Bomb detonation countdown successfully started.
The entire campus was turned upside down as everyone scrambled to escape from the danger broadcast by Arab Andy. It didn't take long before they realized it was a prank, and the police soon started looking for the person responsible.
Oh shit.
Surprisingly, Arab Andy was still on campus. He had stayed behind to film the panic he caused and have fun. That was until the police caught up with him.
Dude, you cannot get a better reaction to that. Holy shit. Oh, because that was not on the ground.
You're on the ground right now.
Wait, what's going on?
On the ground, don't make any sudden movement.
Okay, I'm recording, bro. If you're gonna shoot me.
That's fine.
What are you doing, bro? Put the gun down. Put the gun down. What are you doing, bro?
Your backpack, you got me?
What are you doing, bro?
Record all you want to, that's totally fine. Move this way.
Alright, let me check my phone.
Contact in relation to a bomb threat. Move away from
What?
the shit right now.
While he argued that he didn't play the sound, walking into the classroom knowing what kind of antics his viewers are always up to. If I had to guess, I'd say he knew exactly what he was doing. A Reddit user, Lairfon, who was present at the time, posted on a thread that, likely to be buried, but I was in the room when this occurred. I am in the light blue shirt on the right side, and I dive out when people started moving. The context here makes it look less real and intense than it was in person, because he entered the doorway and lingered in a very nervous and creepy way. He looked very uncomfortable at first. When he was asked if he was in the right place by Jerry, the faculty to his right, he said, "I think so," and smiled. Then the TTS went off. Honestly, it seemed like it was probably prank as we were running, but you don't really take chances. His demeanor made it more real too. Plus, considering he had an oddly large backpack, a phone in hand, and electronics on the front of his body, circular speaker for the TTS. The people who saw him directly were the ones scared shitless for the most part. The people in back and in the kitchen, the doorway through the back right, were much slower to run because it just sounded like a weird announcement. He was charged in court and jailed, but was given an early release with conditions that required him to refrain from creating content while on probation. After his release, he thanked everyone and announced that he was moving to something else.
Okay. It's Arab Andy. And pretty much,
like my situation. I did get released on probation. The probation is not using the YouTube channel for at least, I don't know, but it's gonna be 2 years. I can't go on YouTube. Or I saw videos, you can't upload videos to YouTube or make live streams and stuff like that. But I really want to thank all the donators and everything, like donators with a ham.
Before we go any further, I just want to ask you for a small favor. If you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. We are pushing to hit 200,000 subscribers before the year ends. It feels impossible, but I know we can achieve it together because your support has been unreal. I know you'll subscribe, so without wasting more time, let's get back to the video. So the driver abandoned the vehicle and fled the scene, never to be found. After a while, the police officer arrived at the vehicle's location. One of them pulled out a firearm as they observed the car, wondering what the driver planned. But the plan was to run away on foot, without the car. After ensuring it was safe, the officer began examining the vehicle for any evidence that could lead them to the reckless driver. Unknown to them, they were about to uncover something much bigger. And it was clear that something had happened between them before the recording started. The car in front, or more likely its occupants, had done something that angered the driver and his passenger. However, it was unclear what had happened between them. The only hint we got was from their discussion, as they chased the vehicle. They mentioned that the people in the other vehicle had committed an act of brutality. However, the driver they were chasing did not give off such a vibe. They appear to be driving gently, most likely unaware that they are even being followed. The road they were traveling on showed that 2 or more lanes had been merged into one. The police knew that they had to investigate this incident. Analysis of the video showed that it was shot on May 12, 2014, on A1 highway. Authorities were shocked to discover that they had no record of such an incident, despite its public nature. Police had the perpetrators and the evidence to prosecute them, but it was as if the victims had disappeared entirely, with the 2 men deciding not to issue a statement that could aid the investigation. And the police were never able to identify the family. It seems like the family decided against reporting the incident. This may be because they feared that doing so would put a target on their backs. It could also have been because they didn't want to get involved with the police to conceal something else, like an illegal immigrant status.
Waarop te zien is hoe vanuit een auto met 2 inzittenden op een andere auto op de snelweg lijkt te worden geschoten. Nou, inmiddels weten we ook waar en wanneer dat gebeurde. Dat was op maandagavond 12 mei van dit jaar op een van de drukste wegen van het land, de A10. En dat is de ring rond Amsterdam.
Derek Medina was born in 1982 in Florida. He wanted to do so many things from a young age. While his mates stuck to one thing and improved at it, he tried a bit of everything. Derek was involved in pool, golf, basketball, and even amateur boxing, racking up an impressive 25-match unbeaten record. Derek was also an actor and a self-publishing author. I suppose you could call him talented, even though you'd be wrong. That's because apart from boxing, he wasn't particularly good at all these things he got involved in. For instance, his books had titles like How a Judgmental, Unselfish Attitude is Destroying the World We Live In, because the world is vanishing beneath our eyes. He had another one titled Humans Who Are Gifted and Can See the Supernatural Spirit Ghost World We Live In, called Ghost Haunted Adventures, and some other pretty haunting titles.
And today is the release date of Humans Who Are Gifted and Can See the Supernatural Spirit Ghost World We Live In, called Ghost Haunted Adventures. Written by Derek Medina. The book is available for ebook for $9.99 and also paperback for $19.99.
Derek's acting career had a similar story, as did the other aspects of his life. Patchy streaks with no real momentum or standout moment. Even when Derek got a job, he couldn't keep it beyond a few months. One day, he visited a restaurant in South Miami and met a woman named Jennifer Alfonso. The 27-year-old Jennifer had a 10-year-old daughter called Isabella. The two, Jennifer and Derek, dated for a month and got married. The family looked to be doing fine for a while. They went on several trips, including ghost tours. When they were back home, Derek would set up cameras as he tried to catch ghosts. However, the couple also had lots of fights. Sometimes they'll break up for a day or two before getting back together. All the while, Derek was showing some signs of violence. One day, he showed up at Jennifer's workplace with a gun when he heard that a man was wooing her. Jennifer's friends warned her about Derek, but she always thought Derek was not capable of such. On August 8, 2013, Jennifer woke up late, and an argument came up with Derek, who was supposed to have woken her up. When Jennifer walked downstairs to make breakfast in the kitchen, Derek followed her and continued the argument. During the altercation, Jennifer hit Derek on the chest. He went upstairs, picked up his handgun, and returned to the kitchen. When Jennifer saw him, she scrambled to get a knife, but that wasn't enough to defend herself against Derek. Derek managed to retrieve the knife from her before shooting her 8 times. Derek then returned the firearm to his closet like nothing had happened. He told Isabel to remain in her room and walked over to Jennifer's lifeless body. He took a photo of the body and stormed out of the house. Some minutes later, he launched his Facebook app and uploaded the image. "I'm going to prison or death sentence for killing my wife. Love you guys. Miss you guys. Take care, Facebook people, you will see me in the news. My wife was punching me and I'm not going to stand anymore with the abuse, so I did what I did. I hope you understand me." He submitted himself to the police a couple of hours later, in the company of his father. His Facebook post was also taken down after a few hours. Police officers rushed to his home to find his wife's body and her daughter still in the room. During interrogation, Derek claimed innocence and told police that he acted in self-defense. When asked for more explanation, he said that Jennifer had thrown different items at him, including a towel, mascara, creams, and boxes. He added that he felt pain and sustained bruises after Jennifer struck her in the temple. This was a boxer who was significantly larger than his wife, so the interrogators didn't think Jennifer posed any serious threat to him. They asked why he didn't call 911. He replied, saying he's never had to do so since they've been having fights, and that he figured he had to solve this by himself. So why did he take a photo and upload it to Facebook? He said it was to notify the family so they would rush to get Jennifer's daughter. The prosecutors argued otherwise. They believed his boxing instinct kicked in during the fight. It should have been over when Jennifer left him, but he wanted to win. They add that posting her body online also enforced this sentiment that he just wanted to brag about taking down another opponent. During his hearing, Derek attempted to destabilize the proceedings as much as possible. He had been charged with first-degree murder, and he probably feared what his fate might be at this point. On the first day, he spoke out of turn, telling the judge he didn't want the jury. He seemed to have forgotten that this was not another boxing match, and he doesn't get to decide how justice is pursued. On another occasion, he had another burst as he attempted to argue with the judge. He was kicked out of the courtroom as a result. The trial eventually happened, and Derek Medina was found guilty of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to a minimum of 25 years in prison. After the judgment, he delivered a strange speech, advising the President of the US to focus on corruption.
Be suing this world. Not only that, Unfriended the movie by Universal Pictures came out with a movie before my trial, which was unfair, okay, which was biased. And pretty much the point that I'm trying to make is I did not get a fair trial. And I will be taking action, I will be suing. And I want Barack Obama, the President of the United States of America, to focus on corruption. Corruption is a big problem that we have in the United States of America and all over the world. Nothing further. And God knows the truth.
On Sunday, February 11, 2024, the church service at the Lakewood megachurch in Houston, Texas, was ongoing when a woman entered the church premises. Surveillance footage showed the woman entering in the company of her 7-year-old son. She was wearing a trench coat, intended to conceal an AR-15 style rifle. Unfortunately, it didn't help that the security guard was distracted on his phone. As the woman entered, she walked past the crowd by the entrance and went to the lobby. Then, she opened fire. One of her bullets struck a 47-year-old man in the leg. Thankfully, some off-duty police officers were around. They advanced quickly to the location of the woman, while calling for backup. As they got closer to the woman, she shouted that she had a bomb, forcing the officers to keep their distance. She also pointed her fun at them, and a crossfire ensued. One of the bullets hit the woman's 7-year-old son. The assailant was eventually subdued when hit by bullets from the officers. On getting closer to her, they discovered that the bomb claim was a lie. The 2 injured individuals and the assailant were transported to the hospital. But the woman, now identified as 36-year-old Janesse Moreno, didn't make it. The 47-year-old man left the hospital the next day, after receiving treatment, while Janesse's young son required brain surgery. Investigation revealed that Janesse had a criminal record and was in a custody battle. Her ex-mother-in-law revealed that Janesse suffered from mental health issues that made her violent. Police also found her anti-Semitic writings as well as praises for terrorist organizations. She had some ties to the church, as revealed in a 2020 Instagram post where she posted about her donation to the church. The FBI said Janesse fired around 30 shots. The pastor of Lakewood Church, Joel Osteen, said, "Of course we're devastated. We don't understand why these things happen. We're going to pray for the 5-year-old little boy, the lady who is deceased, and the other gentleman. We're going to stay strong and continue to move forward. We don't understand why these things happen." On February 23, 2018, 12-year-old Linda Rogers had woken up before everyone else at the house. She had been looking forward to the cheer competition for a while, and now that it was here, she wouldn't miss it for anything in the world. After all, she had practiced day and night for the big day. Everything had to be perfect on her end for the team to do well. It had been the only thing on her mind, and the topic she discussed in the days leading up to it. Linda had fallen in love with cheerleading from a very young age. Everyone saw that she was passionate about it. She had been putting in so much work to improve, and everything was finally falling into place, starting with this contest. She woke up early that day and thought she'd use the opportunity to get ready early. Before that, Linda brought out her cell phone and started recording herself.
Good morning, guys. It is 6:02 a.m. Friday, February 22nd. So I'm gonna start with hair, turn on my lamp because So I went ahead and connected my straightener, and I still have to connect the curling iron. And I already got halfway started doing the braid, and all what's left to do is the ponytail.
2 days before that, a man who lived less than 2 miles away from the Rogers had posted a video on Facebook. He was going about his day, and he decided to step outside. That was when he came across a strange sight. Multiple openings on his and his neighbor's properties had a strange substance. On getting closer to observe the substance, he couldn't shake off the distinct smell of gas. He stepped inside and emerged with a lighter. His fears were confirmed when the substance caught fire. He reached out to Atmos Energy, the company in charge of supplying natural gas to the area, but they didn't take him seriously. They told him they'd come around in 5 days to make repairs. Concerned about the danger of leaving the issue unattended for that long, he made a video and posted it on Facebook. That was how he got them to do the needful. Atmos sent their employees to the area, and they started making the repairs 2 hours after the video appeared online. But this man's property was not the only one affected. Several other complaints had reached Atmos. Their attention had been drawn to multiple gas leaks in the area. You wouldn't need to be an expert to think that something else was at play if several gas leaks were happening in the same area. It was a disaster waiting to happen, and the main supply should have been turned off until the issues were addressed. Sadly, this was not done. The operations supervisor at Atmos Energy, Michael Rose, was asked in a deposition if this was normal. Did you find it unusual that you would just be hopping from location to location, finding leaks? Have you had this problem before in your career, where you would actually be challenged by multiple locations in the same evening? Michael answered, saying, "No sir, we've had this before." Strangely, another member of Atmos, the director of operations, Kyle Slaughter, also thought it was normal to have multiple gas leaks at the same time. He was asked if he didn't think it was necessary to turn off the gas distribution system for further investigation when the issues started happening. He said they had surveyed the area, got their crews working on the leaks, and that they had everything under control. He also stated at another time that there was nothing abnormal about it. However, he couldn't be more wrong with these positions. Not only was it abnormal to have that many leaks, but they also didn't have them under control. This was the position of Don Deaver, a pipeline safety expert who was hired by the families of the victims. Through a Zoom call with reporters, Deaver mentioned that it was terrifying to hear Atmos employees state that the leaks were normal. On February 22, 2 gas explosions rocked the Dallas Northwest neighborhood of Durango Drive. The 2 explosions were just a few blocks away from each other on the same street. One of the affected individuals was standing in front of the stove when the fire started. Atmos Energy had gone to work immediately after calls were put into emergency services, but they should have seen this coming. They got calls but refused to act as swiftly as was required. Even after the 2 explosions, the gas mains had not been turned off, and the other families living in the area had not been made aware of the problem. Innocent Linda Rogers was recording as she got ready on the morning of the next day. It was some minutes before sunrise, when a loud bang was heard in the neighborhood. It was the 3rd gas explosion, and it had come from the Rogers house. The 911 calls started coming in, as neighbors confirmed for themselves that something was wrong with their gas supply.
There's a house that exploded in the 3500 block of Espanola. See, something's wrong with the gas lines here. That's the 3rd house.
Authorities rushed to the scene. Atmos officials finally agreed that they had to turn off the supply and evacuate the community. But it was too late. A 12-year-old with a bright future ahead of her had already been lost to the explosion. The other 4 members of her family were also affected, sustaining different degrees of injury. Atmos Energy provided lodgings for the evacuated families. A day later, they told them it was okay to return, while outlining a plan to ensure their safety before their gas supply was restored. Yet another that could have been done earlier, and another loss that could have been prevented. In December 2010, on Facebook and Reddit to try to uncover the identity of the individual in the videos. One of the groups had people assembled in a Facebook community titled Find the Kitten Vacuumer for great justice. These were mainly online sleuths hiding behind fake names and exchanging information that could lead to unmasking the man responsible for killing the kittens. One of them was a Facebook account with the name Bowdy Movin'. Her real name was Deanna Thompson, and she worked as a data analyst at a Las Vegas casino. A man using the Facebook name John Green also joined the group. As they began looking closely at the video, Deanna and John stood out for their keen eye for detail, the ability as Japan and Taiwan. The other objects in the room didn't offer much, but the vacuum cleaner did. It was a Kenmore canister cleaner sold in North America. The second sick video we mentioned earlier dropped around this time. It was posted on Facebook by someone with the name Jamsey Cramsalot. The profile image looked like the man they had been looking for. When one of the investigators asked him if he was the one, he replied, "Yes, I kill kittens, LOL, and there's nothing you can do about it." The group got to work immediately, trying to find the person behind the Facebook account. That didn't take long. The group erupted in delight as they celebrated a job well done, mission accomplished. They had finally found their man. Two members of the group, Deanna and John, thought something didn't seem right, but the others brushed it off. The man's name and picture were quickly circulated online, and people went all in on the man. But he wasn't the culprit making the videos. Jamsey was just a depressed man, sharing the videos to keep himself going. He couldn't stand the humiliation and ended things a while later. The investigators were disappointed, and some left the group. Others continued working to find the real criminal. Further research showed that the man lived in Canada. In one of the pictures, the suspect was standing in front of McGill University in Montreal. When the investigators submitted the information to authorities, the complaints were brushed aside. It was 2011, and they didn't think the suspect posed any danger to humans. They weren't going to go all in on an animal abuse case. When the suspect uploaded his name and location, it was the same name given to Deanna and John. The journalist also got another message, this time from the suspect himself, using the name of another victim, John Kilbride. "It's so fun watching people work so hard gathering all the evidence and then not being able to name me or catch me. Next time you hear from me, it will be in a movie I'm producing that will have some humans." This was the same thing the investigators warned the police about the killer. The plan was to graduate to humans. In May 2012, a new video reached online. One lunatic, one ice pick. Sadly, the vacuum killer had a new victim, and this one was a human. He didn't stop there. He mailed the victim's body parts to different institutions in Canada. A building janitor had also found remains in a suitcase. When police checked the surveillance footage from the building, they found two men walking into the building and the killer dumping things. One of them was the vacuum killer, and the other was the victim, an Asian man named Jun Lin. The killer, now identified as Luca Magnotta, traveled to Paris a day after his crime. A manhunt for him followed, and he was found in Berlin on June 4, 2012. Luca was extradited to Canada. He pleaded innocent, but was found guilty of first-degree murder and 4 other crimes. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison with no possibility of parole. The case was the subject of a Netflix documentary titled Don't Veth with Cats, Catching an Internet Killer. That last unsettling footage brings us to the end of this episode. I'm sure you've enjoyed the episode. If that's the case, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel as well. We upload videos almost every day, so you don't want to miss out. However, we don't think you should wait for the next upload. Instead, there will be more videos on your screen in about 3 seconds. I'll see you there. I'm out.